All right, so I'm going to kick it off straight away since we are live. Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime Marketing. My name is Kim Ritz. My wonderful co-host, Bjorn Salzoni. Bjorn, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good, I'm excited, I'm pumped, and I'm ready. How are you?
You know, every time we start this conversation, I'm waiting for you to do that hello part for us, because it's going to become the signature. If you don't do it, I'm going to go, wait, go back and do it again.
You be cut, edit. No, Bjorn, we live. Keep going. Just redo it.
Okay, so today we are chatting to a communication strategist and who has been working successfully in local and global brands since 2006 under the umbrella of Indigo Zebra Communications. She's also has an online platform, a radio platform, eBIZRADIO.com, and a rich media platform connecting the world of business and the business of world. Please welcome to the show today, Ingrid von Stein. Ingrid, hello, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Do I have to also do the big hurrah?
You can if you want.
Always, Ingrid, welcome. That's
Thank
it.
you.
Ingrid, the reason we do this is because deaf people, obviously, you know, other than the fact they can't hear this is how they clap. So that's what we do.
Or
and
if you're
obviously
gay,
being
you could
online,
just...
that's a great way. That's more like this, Kim, but that's a separate conversation for another day altogether. It's not Pride Month, it's Women's Month. It's a little difference.
On that note, so, you know, we have been chatting this month. We've been chatting to some fierce, dynamic women, and we also have the privilege of being part of eBIZRADIO. And, you know, one of the questions to Bjorn was, why don't we just have Ingrid here? I mean, like, hello, she's been doing this for so many years. And Ingrid, I want to kick off with that and say, you know, happy Women's Month, and congratulations on all the success that you've had, specifically with eBIZRADIO. Don't you want to just give us some insight on what the eBIZRADIO is all about, and where this all started for you and how you put it together? Because essentially it's such a fantastic platform and making such huge impact in the radio world and in Africa.
Guys,
congratulations, Ingrid. This is your virtual flowers.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Guys, I just want you to put you straight. Every day, every month, every year is Women's Day month or year.
Oh, okay.
That was like a slap.
Yeah, just FYI, guys.
Putting you in your corner. Namaste, namaste.
You're so funny.
Love it.
eBIZRADIO. You know, when I started as an entrepreneur, I mean, I started back in high school. I spent so much time in the principal's office that I saw how busy she was. And the phone was always ringing and there were people knocking on the door. And I just thought, I'm sitting here in detention writing out, I need to be quiet or I mustn't ask so many questions. So I started answering the telephone. I started making appointments. I started running the school books. And I just thought, well, this is my start. And when I left school and I wanted to go and study, my parents said, that's fantastic. How are you going to afford it? And I couldn't afford it at that stage. So I had to go and work, and I'm always starting a new business. And one of the things that I found so difficult was nobody wanted to help me. And it was, well, I'm going to do this no matter what. And then, you know, eventually I opened a communications agency. I found I had a natural affinity for telling real and authentic stories for brands and connecting with brands and being able to see the bigger strategic picture of where a business was going. And in the early 2000s, I saw how our cell phones were becoming first screen. And I just thought, we have to change the way that brands communicate with their audience. And I went over to the States and I saw this thing at a convention. It was called a podcast. And it fascinated me, no end. And I came back to South Africa and I did a bit of investigation, and I had heard about online radio. And at that stage, there was a company in the States who was offering to get me set up for about it was about $500,000 US, which I really don't carry around in my handbag. And I had to figure out how to do this myself. And I met a young guy who helped me figure it out. The solution was 235 Rand. We plugged it into my laptop, and that allowed me to stream voice and out onto the internet. And then I just thought, what did I struggle with most when I started a business? And it was basic things: how to start the business, how to register the business, where do I get finance, how do I do marketing? And I've been fortunate to work with amazing people locally and globally. And I said to them, I'm going to start this platform. We're now 2011. And everybody looked at me and went, online radio, podcast, what are you talking about? Are you mad? And I said, I might be mad, but I'm going to do this. And I started broadcasting.
I love that attitude.
I started broadcasting from my dining room table. So I had a setup similar to this. I had my microphone, my soundboard, my laptop, and I had a URL and a stream, and I started talking. And I think it was only me and the dogs who actually listened. And
I love that.
I then approached some amazing people. So the first person I approached was Arthur Goldstuck, who everyone in this country knows is Mr. Technology.
Yeah.
But Arthur's actually a business journalist, and we had started many years ago in communications together. And his passion in life is technology and gadgets and cell phones and software. And I said to him, why don't you come on my platform? I'll give you the platform. You just share your information and insight and your passion about technology. So Arthur was my first contributor. And the rest, as they say, is history. The platform just grew organically. People migrated to it. I connected with people who were experts in their fields and said, come and share what you know, your learnings, your successes, your failures, so that we can help entrepreneurs and businesses in South Africa and in Africa just to have one platform to go to access information for free. So, you know, to date, we have the biggest business archive podcast library in Africa. And I'm incredibly proud of it. I mean, I get up every day and I get so excited because I get to speak and connect with amazing people, people like yourselves, people in our audience who everybody has an amazing story to tell.
And I mean, also to add to that, which I find so phenomenal, and the reach that you're reaching at the moment, Ingrid, is some of the numbers that we know about is up to what 600,000, over 600,000 listeners.
Well, where we were at the end of March, we were averaging about, we don't call them listeners because you don't know how many people are listening because it's online.
Yeah,
it's you connect through either your computer or your tablet or your cell phone, and when you do that is a unique IP address. So what we do is we count unique IP addresses. So we were just over 600,000 unique IP addresses, and then lockdown happened.
oh wow, yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody was at home. People were trying to figure out, how do I work from home? How does this digital thing work? How does Zoom work? I don't know how to do this. And people started looking for information. And we steadily saw a growth. And sort of towards the middle of July, we had just over 1 million unique IP addresses. So if you were to look at that.
Wow, mazel tov.
No, we would be the biggest radio station on the continent. But often people discount it because it's online. But that's their problem and not ours.
Yes.
And, you know, I've just seen the huge downloads of podcasts and stuff that has been archived for years, but they're simple, basic business tips. You know, I mean, one of the shows that I've seen huge downloads, and I know, Kevin, this is a show that you do with us on a Tuesday, and that's the mental wellness.
Yeah.
People are desperate to connect with other people. They are struggling, and they're finding it really hard, and they just want to know, actually, it's okay, I'm not losing my marbles. So those kind of shows are huge downloads. Marketing tips, digital marketing. Oh my word! Sometimes I think the server's going to break, but it hasn't yet. So that's fantastic.
Wonderful. That's good to know. Crazy.
So one of the things
Crazy times.
to add to what you're saying, Ingrid, do you think, as a woman in leadership, as a woman in business, that sort of blind anticipation that you had when you said, you know what, I'm going to put something together, and just, it's going to be me and the dogs, and we're going to listen to this, and hopefully reach someone. Do you think that is such a good entry point for people out there? Because a lot of people kind of go, I don't know where to start. I don't know what else to do. I don't know where to go from here. And it's, I find that blind anticipation of what possibly could come from this so unbelievably important as an entrepreneur, as a business person. To give you a simple example, I'm trying to get some South Africans on abroad on the show. And Eugene said to me last night, why don't you just try and get hold of Elon Musk? I was like, yeah, I mean, what are the chances that Elon Musk is going to come on this show? Like little old, South Africans doing their thing here. And then I was like, no, actually. And I went on Twitter, on Instagram, and I DM'd him. And I'm like, he hasn't answered yet. But that blind anticipation, of what possibly could come from this, I think it's so important. Do you want to just share some of your insights around why this is such a key element of success?
You mentioned the word blind a few times, and most people don't know this. I'm visually impaired, so I'm blind in one eye, and I only found out that I was blind in one eye when I was about 5. And up until then, everything was perfect. And then I got this label put on. Shame, you must excuse her, she's blind. And it really irritated the crap out of me, because I was just like everybody else. And I think I'm stubborn, and no matter what, I'm going to do it. Even if I absolutely fail, at least I'll go, you know what? I tried. So very important. Before you even start the business, get up every day. Shower, get dressed, make your bed. Right.
Yeah, that's it.
You've already achieved. Set out a goal for yourself and say, today I'm going to achieve this. So when I was a student, I needed to earn 100 Rand a day in order to pay for my fees, in order to pay for my accommodation, and in order to eat. I didn't have a car. I used to use the bus, and if I didn't have money, I used to hitchhike. So I set myself small daily targets. And if I didn't get to my target, I'd go, well, I'm 20 Rand short, or I'm 10 Rand short. What can I do to earn that? And I washed cars, I washed windows, I've done laundry, so there's, as long as you have 2 hands, you can work and you can create something. So
I agree. Stunning, stunning.
It makes no difference whether you're a man or a woman. You're a human being, and you need to 100%. Provide for yourself. No one's going to provide for you. You need a roof over your head. You need something to eat. How are you going to get that? And I think my parents had a lot to do with that. We grew up really, really poor. My dad paid for his own studies. So if you wanted something, you had to work for it. There was no, well, here, my sweet child, here's a bicycle for you. No, if you wanted a bicycle, you had to earn the money to buy that bicycle.
I'm on your page. That was me. That's still me.
So just keep going. It doesn't matter if you fail. Failing makes you smart, and you go, oops, I'm not going to do that again.
Absolutely.
Failing is failing to succeed.
Gotcha. Ingrid, one of the things that you maybe just think about now was an inspirational video. I actually shared with it to you after this, and you'll see how inspiring your comment is, and it's so true. There was this guy that was homeless guy in the Western Cape, and he literally was given 5 Rand. And what he did was he walked into the store and he thought, well, actually, he's so hungry he could eat, or he could make it more. And so what he did, exactly the whole concept of what you spoke about, you set a goal and he decided to make some money. And what he landed up doing was he bought polish. and a brush, and he started cleaning cars. And he said that night, as it kind of, the story event happened, he made 7,000 Rand. I was like, I don't clean cars for 7,000 Rand. I'm like, I'm good to go. It's like, Kevin, come along. Let's go have some party, buddy. But what you've just made me realize is that whole concept. And I always say this, and Kevin and I often chat offline, and we were just saying, there's an opportunity that you just take it, just do it. So Kev, well done on messaging Elon. We'll just be waiting for Mr. Musk to go, yes. I'm like, putting it on in the university, waiting for it. Ingrid, we might warn you when that podcast downloads, the server might crash, but we apologize in advance.
You know what? We've built the most amazing back-end system, and as for every 1,000 unique IP addresses, it automatically switches effortlessly to new servers. So I'm not worried about it.
Are we good? Are we good? Let's get them all in there. Absolutely. Fantastic.
So Ingrid, as part of the conversations that you and I have had also offline, I know that you've had some really big challenges in life, and you've had some health scares, and we don't have to go into those details, but I know that, a lot of the time people look from the outside and they kind of go, oh, wow, you have this radio platform, and you have your own PR company, and you look like you've got everything quite under control. But, life hits, and we get to those challenges that really want us to fail, that really want us to not get up in the morning. And I know you've had some of those. How did you overcome that? I'm like you mentioned earlier, get out of bed, get dressed, go have a shower, get dressed, get going with what it is you're about to do. But how have you overcome that as a woman and as a leader in the world today?
With difficulty, but with determination.
Sure. Yeah.
So, we chatted offline the other day. Last week, I celebrated 11 years of being cancer-free. So I was
That's
diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and we know
That's awesome.
We know what it is. And I sat with the team of medical practitioners and the surgeons, and they said, look, this is a really tough one. We're looking maybe 6 to 8 weeks because I'm stuck. I'd been sick for a while. I just didn't go to the doctor because I don't like them. And they said, what we suggest is that you go home, you get your affairs in order. And I'm going, hell, you don't know me.
Sure.
The last thing I'm going to do is get my affairs in order. And then I questioned and I said, look, I've done some research. I've heard about this Whipple surgery. Is there a possibility we could look at this and extract the tumor? And the doctor was quite amazing. He should have been an entrepreneur. I suppose he's an entrepreneur in the medical field. And he said, I'm willing to try if you're willing to try. And I said, you know what? And before I went into the theater, I said to him, don't fuck this up. And I know he said we're not going to swear, but those were...
You used the big word there, Ingrid.
It's fine.
And I said to him, you do the medical bit and I'll do the rest. The rest is up to me. And I remember lying there waiting to go under. And I took all the crap, all the negative things, and I shoved it into this tumor. And I just thought, you are not paying rent and you are getting out, and I'm going to live my life.
Absolutely.
And I woke up about 10 days later. I was in a medically induced coma. And he came into the room and he says, I have no idea what happened, but you cleared, in a couple of weeks, you can go home, live your life. Here I am 11 years later.
Wow. stunning.
So
Well done.
How you perceive yourself in the world. I am just as good as anybody else. In fact, I think I'm better in some aspects.
I love it.
I'm absolutely determined, and if I don't know how it works, I am going to figure it out. And my team are probably crying in the background, because if I need something fixed on the website and they take too long, I get stuck into the back.
I love it. Like, it's the entrepreneur in you, Ingrid. Like, you know what, I'll just do it. It's like, I'll just, which is sometimes our best asset and our worst, when we have to go, just allow someone else to grow, right?
Absolutely. You know what? Just do it. What's the
Yeah.
worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Get it wrong, you try again.
Absolutely.
I got it. Ingrid, I want to ask you something. What inspires you? Like, so, you know, you've gone through some challenges and it's been a bit rough, but you kind of went the big word, and you can, you know, I am conscious of the fact that people that are watching streaming live have sent me a few inboxes and they've got kids. So you used the big word and you said it can all go. And what inspires you? Because surely you need, like everyone has a down day, whether it's you're not sure because your blood sugar is low, or you had bad news, or someone lost a job, or whatever. But what inspires you? Because what I'm hearing is that you are very focused in terms of you goal orientated, you know what you want to do, you know how you're going to achieve. And many business owners, especially entrepreneurs who have, and then I put us all in that category, who are like, let's make it happen. Sometimes you just think, oh, can someone just do this for me? But because you're committed and you have accountability, you'll do it regardless of how you feel. But what do you use to make you feel better other than a good cup of coffee or a glass of wine or a candlelight bath or any of those exciting things?
Animals.
Animals, tell us more.
I love animals, and I think in another life I was a zebra, and in many ways I'm like a zebra. I'm neither black nor I'm white, and I'm fast.
Is that what they call a coconut? Is that the wrong word?
Animals just inspire me, no matter what is happening in the environment. They always just seem happy. They make a plan. They stick together. You're stronger in a tribe or in a herd. And without language, you know, as in what we understand as language, they are able to work together.
Okay.
And that inspires me. I mean, why can't we just be more like animals? They take care of each other. They take care of other species.
Yes.
And they work collectively, and they share what they have. So animals inspire me.
I love that.
I want to just, you know, some of the notes that I'm making here is fail fast and fail forward. You know, it's so necessary for us to be able to get up and just learn from our mistakes and go, okay, cool, well, that didn't work. Next time I'll do better. But one of the things, and again, Ingrid, apparently you and I have lots of offline conversations, because one of the things we did speak about is knowing when to listen to yourself. You know, you and I both have had a moment where in the last month where we were like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm putting everything off. I'm taking some downtime. How important do you think that is for people running their own businesses and taking, paying attention to that voice, that self-awareness?
It's incredibly, incredibly important. You know, we are all attached to our cell phones, but you need to be really firm with yourself. And at 8 o'clock at night, it's off.
Yeah.
As in physically off, Ingrid?
Physically off. It's
wow.
off. If the world is going to end, you'll know about it. And what can I do about it?
We'll know tomorrow morning. We'll be like, what happened last night? Just check social media. What's trending on Twitter?
You can actually feel when things becoming too much, and you become irritable, and you become a little bit aggressive, or you're a little bit snippy. You need to actually step out, and I'm pretty good in doing that, but it takes practice. You need to step out. You need to switch off. Go for a walk. I take the dogs for a walk, or I walk along the beach on my own, and I pick up things on the beach. I'm fascinated by the amount of left shoes I always find on the beach. What happened to the right one?
What's up with left shoes? Okay, that's interesting. Or scary. I'm not sure. Is that like
that was the last thing. That was the last thing I expected anyone to ever say.
The left shoes. It's like this, Kevin. The left shoe.
There we go, the left shoe. I don't know what happens to right shoes, but they're always just left shoes on the beach. So yes, very important to take care of yourself, take time out and be firm about it. Go, my no is no.
Yeah.
Right.
In terms of eBIZRADIO, I'm just looking at the categories that you chat about or that you have on the website. So you go from entrepreneur, insight, opinion, research, business trends. You have marketing, you have motoring, productivity. There's a whole list of categories that you guys cover on the platform. What have you noticed is the theme from all the content that you share and businesses, considering the times, considering 2020 has been a bitch of note, if I can say that. But it's what are the trends that you are noticing from all the information, having all the content on and archives that you have? What are those trends that you are seeing?
It's something that is so simple. Everybody's looking for connection and direction and assistance. So the how-tos, like how do I do digital marketing? And I'd actually listened to a show that you and Bjorn did last week or the week before. And I had no idea how to do some of these simple things like Instagram,
You're
welcome.
welcome.
And the simple philosophy is, who are you wanting to talk to? Who are you wanting to connect with? Find out where they are and connect on that platform. And that's what's happening with eBIZRADIO. When I say we're a business radio station, so our tagline is the world of business and the business of the world.
Yeah.
All of that revolves around the person, the people. So you can't just look at, well, how do I do my tax? How do I do marketing? We have to look at, how do I take care of myself as a person? How do I take care of my staff? How do I take care? So, I've seen a huge spike in those podcast downloads in the last 6 to 8 weeks. And also basic things on the difference between traditional marketing, digital marketing, how to open a business. This is the big one. I have no money. Where do I get funding?
Yeah.
It is important, but it isn't important. I'll tell you where you get funding. You find it yourself. You get up and you make it happen. Nobody's going to give you R1 million on a business idea. You have to start the business. You have to grow the business, and then you can start talking about investment.
Because you need to prove that you've done something and that it's a model that works.
Correct.
Gotcha. Cool. Ingrid, tell me something. In terms of eBIZRADIO, like if people want to get involved and want to start podcasting, like what would kind of be the next steps that they would kind of follow? Or like say, guys, this is what you need to do. People might go, well, I want to become a podcaster. I want to have my podcast download. What is kind of the next steps for them to start getting involved with eBIZRADIO?
Okay, so, if you want to get involved with eBIZRADIO, send me, either get hold of us on Facebook, which is eBIZRADIO Global Media, or you can just send an email to ingrid@ebizradio.com. But let me give people some advice on if you want to start a podcast. Do not rush out to the nearest store and get the person to sell you what they think you need. Okay.
Yes.
So
Tip number one, don't spend $500,000, is it?
No.
Don't spend any money yet. Don't spend any money yet. Okay. Everybody's got a smartphone. Every phone has a record device.
Yeah.
Okay. Find your record device. The trick is put your phone on top of a glass. Make sure that you have a hand space between your mouth and the microphone. Push record and start talking. Then listen back to it. So practice like that for a little bit. You can then transfer that audio file onto your computer. There's an amazing free editing software called Audacity. Import the file into Audacity. Watch a YouTube clip on how to edit Audacity and just start playing. And you'll start, the more you do it and the more you practice, the better you become before you go and spend money on equipment. Once you've done that, then you can go to the store and say, right, I need a microphone. I need a small mini desk. You don't even need a sound desk. You literally just need a microphone that you can plug into your computer, good earphones. Just do it.
Got it.
Here we go.
And in terms of planning content, Ingrid, would you say to them, like, plan content for 3 months, plan it for 2 months, plan it for 6 months, a year, you know, just to give people a bit of, so now we understand some practical stuff, but now you need content, because obviously, what are you talking about?
You need content. So create yourself a platform where you're going to share your content. So you can go onto YouTube, start doing it for free on YouTube. You can do video if you want, but if you're not doing video, you can put up a picture and just have the audio in the background. Content is key. So what is it that you're going to be talking about? Who you're going to be talking to, when you're going to talk to them. And you can sit at your diary and plan it out. You know, try and do it at least. How often do you want to do the podcast? Do you want to do one a week, 2 a month? So first make those decisions, and then go, if I'm going to be talking about how to make compost, I'm not going to start at the end where I'm putting the compost on the ground. Well, maybe you should start it. You know, but what is it why are you going to be doing this? What are you going to need? How long does the process? So when you start verbalizing those things, you actually see the pattern coming out and you can plan accordingly. And then we go, well, I know nothing about composting other than I love gardening, but Kevin, you know a lot about it. So let me chat to Kevin. And you can do exactly the same. Just use your phone. Be in a quiet place. Put the phone between the two of you. Push record. The recorders on cell phones today are phenomenal. So yes, planning is important. On eBIZRADIO, it's a little bit difficult, but it's also easy. We do have the regular shows that we broadcast every single day, and those we plan in advance, and you know who's going to be on there. But then something happens in the world or in South Africa, or there's a new technology and everything switches, because now we're going to just veer off track a little bit. We're going to get that story. We're going to shift something around.
Yes.
It just takes practice. So you just learn to roll with the punches and plan as best as you can. Always have a backup plan. Always make sure you've got something in the bag, ready, recorded, edited, that if something does happen, you have something to put out.
Got it.
So
Awesome.
in terms of that, Ingrid, so what is the next 6 months looking like for eBIZRADIO and for you? And what can we expect from the next 6 months from you guys?
Very exciting. Firstly, this is what the next 6 months looks like.
I love that.
Like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Yes.
So my plan was always to expand our language offering, because we learn and we understand better when we're listening to something in our native tongue. So in the next 6 months, I want to be expanding into bringing in Afrikaans, isiXhosa, and Zulu, and that's already happening in the background.
Ingrid, hold it. I'm going to help you. isiXhosa, sisi. Uyathetha isiXhosa, isiXhosa. You click here. Ndifunda isiXhosa, ndifunda apha esikolweni.
There we go. Like,
do you understand?
That.
Well, I'm just going to do the English. So, you know, money's, you know what? Hopefully money will come in. You know, the last 5 months have been incredibly tough, because the very first thing that businesses did and companies did when lockdown happened was, oh hell, we need money to keep us going, because you should have 3 months, at least 3 months worth of capital to keep the business operational. Unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. So the last 5 months have been incredibly tough, and I've had to pull from personal resources to keep my team together, to keep my staff employed. But I'm starting to see it's changing. So money's starting to flow again. People are realizing, oh shit, we should never have cut our marketing and communications budget, because when we really need it.
Yes, it's a true story.
So the next 6 months are just going to be incredibly exciting. I'm so looking forward to it. I've got some amazing young talent who are coming up, and they're just amazing youngsters who Not one of them finished school. I put an ad out on my Facebook group and in the area where I live, and I said, I'm looking for young people who would like to go into broadcasting, and that's all I asked. And they started sending me stuff, and I sent the same brief to everybody. I said, send me a voice note because I need to hear what your voice. Can you articulate yourself? And then there were some people whose articulation wasn't brilliant, but they had a beautiful tone in their voice, and they had this lovely smile. And so that's how I choose. Absolutely, I choose my interns. You can't teach people passion, and you can't teach people motivation. The technical stuff I can teach you. And I've just watched these youngsters just blossom into amazing broadcasters. And, that's the other thing that, other than animals, that inspires me, is to watch people who come from townships who have absolutely nothing, who show up, who are here every day. They're here. There's no excuses as to, oh, sorry, I couldn't get you. Oh, I overslept. They show up,
Love that.
And that is unbelievably, it's this willingness to learn. And if you're willing to learn, I will give you 300% of myself. So that's my next thing.
That's so exciting.
That's really exciting. So, we obviously we would be able to do this for a lengthy amount of time, clearly. But in wrapping up in summary, I'm just going to name some of the things that, you're mentioning the importance of fail fast, fail forward, understand what your worth is, and really know that, listen to that internal voice. Make sure that you get your brain on board with what that feels like, what that looks like, so that you know when to take that 5 minutes and go find a left shoe on the beach. And then also you may finding a tribe. I just, something that's also come up quite a few times is finding your tribe and the importance of that. And those people who, Will Smith says, those people who fan your flames, keep them close, keep them near you, because those are the people who are going to get you through the tough times. And the ones who are not fanning the flames, get rid of them. And then lastly, the exciting news and the exciting next 6 months that we've got with eBIZRADIO. So if anyone wants to add some content, and you can do this in your mother tongue, we can get hold of Ingrid at eBIZRADIO.com, and all the social medias. Fantastic.
Yep.
So Bjorn, I want to ask from your side. I know that next month, this is in celebration of Women's Month.
Yeah.
But next month we've got some exciting things coming up, and I'm also really keen on what we are planning. I'm sure Ingrid's going to love it. So do you want to give us a snippet and a sneak? Yeah.
So there's a lot happening in the background, and lots of calls, emails, telephones, WhatsApps, LinkedIn, Instagram, DMs, Twitter DMs. And what we're going to be doing is just something that's really close to my heart. So other than entrepreneurs that reinvent themselves, and they currently have to do it in South Africa right now, some entrepreneurs are reinventing themselves overseas. So what we're deciding to do for our series for September being something new, we're talking to South Africans that have reinvented themselves in another country. So what's really exciting, next week, we've got Helen Dubois, and she's been on so many radio stations, Mix FM, and.
Yeah.
And she is now on Dublin FM, and she runs a show every Tuesday. So Helen's going to be talking to us about how she reinvented herself as an actress, as a singer, as a dancer, as a radio presenter, because I think a lot of South Africans, if you just be real about it, a lot of people are maybe thinking about leaving. And it's not going, like, there we go, off you go, reinvent yourself and how to do it. But it's actually more that if they decide they actually want to stay here, for them to get inspired to go, man, if someone can reinvent themselves overseas in a different country, and you've got to talk about Ireland and you roll your R's, and you can do it in your own hometown, wherever you are, whether you're in Grahamstown or like in Johannesburg. So so we've got her, and then we've got another lady. Her name is Tanya. She is fantastic. And she is going to be talking from a PR point of view, how she's been reinventing herself in the Netherlands. And she'll be the following week, and the rest to be revealed.
Yeah,
Super,
fantastic.
super exciting.
So we are going to be taking the show into global areas. So it's really exciting. And lastly, Bjorn, before we close off today, tell us what's happening in your world besides obviously the Lunchtime Marketing Show, which is very exciting. But what else is happening in your world? And I'll share from my side too.
Well, actually, I'm going to kind of share from a bit of a community space, if I can. And I'm also sure about work stuff and event stuff and all that kind of thing. But, this week I was invited to an event by Rotary Joburg South 101. And a friend of mine, Linda Dent, said to me, hey, why don't you come along? And, I used to be a Rotarian via a school program called Interact. I don't know if you know how it works. The school is Interact, then it's Rotaract at university, or so it was called then, and then Rotary. I believe it's when you're 25 plus. It's like like your insurance decreases, so you join Rotary. And I was so inspired by what they do that I based in Northcliffe, I hit up my local Rotary guy, and I'm going to a meeting next week Wednesday, because I thought, what, in the current space, and Ingrid, that's why I asked about your inspiration. You talk about helping animals, and I kept thinking, I really just want to help people that are maybe along the journey, not where I am, to help them get there. So I'm going to be going to Rotary next week, since I was so excited about that, because I really just I always believe, like, if you ever want to give back in your local community, because that's where you make a tangible difference. So that's one of the things that's happening in my world. There's a whole lot more, but I'll share about that next month and next week. So yeah, and yourself, Kev?
Yeah, so I not anything brand spanking new that I haven't mentioned, but some really nice programs that are coming together, and the one that I'm not allowed to talk about in the Western Cape, that one. So that one's coming around, but we're as soon as we're allowed to talk about it, I'm definitely going to share the impact that we are having. We're doing a really big thing for the Western Cape Education Department. So, but I'll tell you more about it when I can. And one thing I wanted to peek and leave the audience with today is consider how you use social media, because a lot of the time, I know you guys may have seen it on my Facebook. A lot of the time, we're so quick to blame social media for disconnecting people, or for whatever we're not wanting to take care of ourselves.
You are not a tree, Kevin. You are not a tree.
You're not a tree. If you don't like it, change your social media. It's not that difficult.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's if you want to find out more from my side, it's businessbydesign.co.za. And Bjorn, you guys are tncmarketing.co.za. Is that correct?
tnc-marketing.co.za, 100%.
There we go. And Ingrid, lastly, just to wrap it up and to confirm where we can get hold of you, the eBIZRadio's website and your email.
It's very simple. It's eBIZRadio, eBIZRadio.com, or Ingrid@eBIZRadio.com.
Fantastic. Yay. And, according to the schedule, that was like spot on, like 12:43. Guys, thank you for Lunchtime Marketing. Thank you for joining us, Ingrid. It's such a pleasure to have you part of this, and thank you for creating this platform, because Bjorn and I are loving it. We love having these conversations, and without you, a lot of this wouldn't be possible. So thank you for that, and thank you for your time.
It's an absolute pleasure. And for anyone who's listening, if you've enjoyed the experience on eBIZRadio, all I ask is share it. The more we share, the better it is for everybody. We all need to get on the same page. Let's rebuild our economy. Let's work together. Let's share our skills.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bjorn, have a wonderful one. I'll chat to you soon. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ingrid.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao.